Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm actually talking about the new Pixar film that you can stream exclusively on Disney Plus right now called LUCA. LUCA is a film about a fish creature that lives in the water near Italy, and he is fascinated with the land above. He lives with a family that doesn't believe in these fish creatures going up on land. They believe that people are going to hurt them and use them for, fish entrees and things like that. So basically, Luca, who's the lead character of the film that we follow in this movie, and basically he meets a guy up on land who also is half human, half fish creature. These creatures basically they go up on land and become human, and the second they get exposed to water, they become fish creature again. So basically, this other young man is just like Luca is, and they kind of form a friendship. He kind of tells Luca about all the stuff on land that's really interesting. He lets them know about this like moped like device that they can ride around the land on, that people go to school, they learn about space and all this other stuff that Luca has an interest in. And basically they also meet a girl who's up on the land, and she's trying to win this triathlon of some kind in Italy, and they're trying to help her win this. And Luca does not want to go back to the water while his parents kind of go up on land and kind of look for him since he's been gone for so long. And so throughout the course of this film, Luca finds out about all the fascinating stuff on land, wants to learn more about it, while also kind of having to deal with the family issues of potentially moving in with his uncle, which would make him basically be in the ocean for a really long time if that were to happen. But while trying to take advantage of all the stuff on land, be able to go to school, learn about space, learn about mopeds, and all the stuff that he really wants to learn about and really wants to spend his life on, and potentially just basically live the life of a human being. And so that's over the course of the film Luca, this fish creature trying to get out of the ocean to basically potentially live a life up on the land. So overall, guys, I really like Luca a lot. It's a film that kind of flew under the radar. It was one of those things where I wasn't sure, with 2020 kind of being a tough year for Pixar, with Onward not having a full theatrical run and with Soul kind of going straight to Disney Plus around Christmas time. I kind of wasn't sure what Pixar had in mind for their next film. I didn't know if they were going to wait another year, wait for the pandemic to kind of finish out for good, or if they really were going to release a film in 2021, whether it would be just Disney Plus again, or a theatrical release along with Disney Plus, like what some other Disney titles are doing this year. They did the Disney Plus route again. I guess they were comfortable with that. So fingers crossed. Hopefully this doesn't get them bankrupt or anything. Um, but I am happy to report that Luca is another great film from Pixar. It's not their best work. Going into this film knowing that it's not going to be the next Toy Story, it's not going to be the next Finding Nemo, it's definitely not in that same conversation. But I am happy to report, like I said, that Luca is a very good film and another great installment into the Pixar family of films. So for my positives and negatives of Luca, first and foremost, this is a very fun movie. It's fun from start to finish. I was never bored with Luca at all. It's very fun, whether it's Luca learning about the land, or him pursuing his job in the ocean, or him becoming friends with this guy that is half human, half fish creature like he is, or him pursuing this friendship with this girl and learning about school and learning about space and all the stuff that he has an interest in. It's a very fun film from start to finish. You will not get bored with Luca. That's one guarantee about this film, is it's fun from start to finish. The human to fish scenes are also very fun to watch here, whether it's Luca trying to make sure he doesn't get wet on the land, because the second he gets a splatter of water on his hand, or he drinks a glass of water or anything like that, he does temporarily become fish creature again. So whether it's him being aware of this or his friend being aware of this, who also is half human fish, half fish creature, the film has a lot of fun with this, making sure that they stay dry at all times while on the land, and making sure that they don't get caught while pursuing this moped race, or helping this girl win this triathlon and things like that. It's a ton of fun in this movie when the human to fish transitions are occurring on the land in this movie. There's also a ton of very cute moments here, and the film has a lot of charm. That's another thing about Luca I really like. This film really does have a lot of charm to it. It's just one of those things where Luca's kind of like getting to know a person that's really likable and a lot of fun to be around, and you kind of don't want to end the day with that friend just because they're just so fun to be around, and they have a lot of charm and a lot of intrigue about them that you want to kind of get to know more about. And that's kind of what the film Luca is too. It's very cute. It constantly has a good charm to it, and it just really is a very likable film from start to finish. I also liked all the Italian vibes that the film went with, whether it's getting the landscape right, getting the Italy culture correct, making sure that, these characters encounter people that love pasta. All this stuff is just really fun to watch here. They definitely get the Italy vibes correct here. I did read somewhere online that a lot of the animators and writers of this film got to spend some time in Italy while kind of working on this film to kind of get the culture of Italy correct, the landscape, colors, making sure that they get the interaction between people correct and things like that. This film is in English, but it takes place in Italy, so there's probably like little small hints of like Italian mutter between the characters, but it all is in English, so don't worry, you're not watching a subtitled film here. I love all the Italy vibes that the film gets correct here. I also like the unique animation style they went with. Pixar went with more of a, imagine like Wallace and Gromit meets an Italian animated movie, and that's kind of what this film looks like as far as an animation standpoint goes. Kind of a Wallace and Gromit quality with an Italian animated film, if that makes any sense. So I like the unique animation style that Pixar chose to use here in this movie. The two lead characters are also a ton of fun to watch here. It's great to see their friendship blossom in this movie. So Luca and his friend that he meets in Italy, they have a ton of fun scenes here. Their friendship blossoms over the course of the film. And they're really likable characters. You really kind of root for them. You want to make sure that they stay friends, that they don't get into any fights or anything of that nature. You really do care about these two characters over the course of this film. And I just felt really invested in this journey that they went on. For my negatives of Luca, though, there is a lot of dream sequences in this film. There's just a lot of scenes where Luca is fascinated with a moped and kind of has a daydream about it, has a daydream about space when he's learning about that, has a daydream about this other thing, has a daydream about this. It's a very common thing that happens in this movie, and it just kind of feels like Pixar, on those moments, we're just trying to make an art house film for the sake of making an art house film. And unfortunately, that doesn't 100% work here. I think a lot of kids who watch this film are going to be like, what's this deal with these dream sequences? It just kind of felt like Pixar was trying to get into the art house film industry whenever that happened in the movie. It doesn't really fit the film, unfortunately, and I thought there was just overall too many dream sequences in this movie. One or two would have been fine, but the film unfortunately has a lot more than that, unfortunately. And like I mentioned before, this is not Pixar's best film. It's very fun. It's very good. You can definitely tell it is made by Pixar because it is well made. But like I said, you're not going to remember the characters like you did in Toy Story. You're not going to remember the scenarios like you did in Finding Nemo. You're not going to remember the originality of Inside Out. You're not going to remember the um, creativity of Soul, for example, either. There's just a lot of things that those films I just mentioned have over Luca, I believe. I think Soul just has more to it. Incredibles has more to it. Toy Story has more to it. Finding Nemo has more to it. There's just a lot of films in the Pixar library that just stand out a little bit more than this film does. I can't see Luca getting a sequel. I can't see Luca getting like its own ride in Universal Studios or Disneyland or wherever it's. But Pixar has the places to put rides in now. I just can't see that having the same legacy here in this movie. So I thought this overall wasn't Pixar's best, even though there is a lot of good things and lovable things about the film overall. I also thought the third act of the film was very jumbled and almost kind of summarized. It felt like Pixar knew kind of what they wanted to do with the third act, but they didn't want to do the work and the storytelling necessary to make the third act work. It just kind of felt like, oh, they did this because you knew they were going to do that, and this person went there because you knew they were going to go there at one point because they mentioned it once in the movie, and you know this person was going to go there because we don't like this person, then they're just going to disappear now. So it just kind of felt like jumbled and summarized, and it almost kind of felt lazy as a result. It felt like Pixar didn't want to do the work necessary to. It felt like they put in a lot of work at one point, and then at one point they got to the story near the end and be like, we don't want to take care of all this other stuff. We'll just kind of summarize it and be done with it. So I thought the third act in particular felt kind of lazy here. It just felt kind of jumbled and too summarized to me. So I thought the third act of this film, unfortunately, was very disappointing. I also thought more time could have been spent in the ocean. We do kind of get to see what Luca did as a job as this fish creature at the beginning. We kind of see what his friend was doing before we met him in the story and things like that. But overall, there really isn't a lot of time spent in the ocean in this film. I don't know if Pixar was worried that they were going to have to compete with Finding Nemo by doing that, or they were treading the same water literally by doing that. But I thought more time really could have been spent in the ocean because we kind of sort of meet the uncle, we kind of sort of meet the mom and dad, but I just felt like more time needed to be spent there because this film really isn't very long. Even though Disney Plus will tell you it's an hour and 40 minutes, I would say only about an hour and 25 minutes is the actual runtime of this movie. So a lot of this film is spent in end credits. So I thought, I don't know, maybe an extra 10, 15 minutes in the water could have benefited this film, and we really would have learned more of what Luca was up to in the ocean before this entire story started. But overall, I'm going to give Luca an 8.5 out of 10. Really good movie. Really like it a lot. I highly recommend that you stream it on Disney Plus if you're already subscribed to Disney Plus. Tons of lovable things to like about this film, but unfortunately, like I said, dream sequences. There happen one too many in this movie. This is not Pixar's best, like I mentioned. I can't see a Disney World ride for this film anytime soon. A kind of a jumbled and summarized third act, and I thought more time could have been spent in the ocean overall in this movie. So 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend Luca. If you're subscribed to Disney Plus, I highly recommend that you stream Luca at some point soon.